Hey guys, this is Miss Young, and we're going to be taking notes over the Second Great Awakening, which is directly connected to social reform, which is our current topic. So get your pencils ready. Alright, so this one is called the Second Great Awakening, which means there was a First Great Awakening. And the First Great Awakening took place during the colonization time period where Britain was colonizing North America, and within those 13 colonies. And so today we're going to learn what the Second Great Awakening is, and they are very similar. So let's go ahead and move on. So for starters, this is all a part of the social reforms, and social reforms was where people were trying to change society. It was the changes taking place in society amongst the people, and it was spurred by this Second Great Awakening. During the Second Great Awakening, it was this renewal of religious faith during the 1800s. It was the spread of revivals, an awakening of spiritual reform. You had people preaching, you had preachers preaching, you had people listening. They saw social reform as a part of God's plan. If you think about the word social reform, social means people, reform is change. They're trying to change the people. And when you start learning about the different social reforms that took place, such as abolition, meaning getting rid of slavery, that was a necessary change. And so these are different changes you're going to be learning about, all spurred by this Second Great Awakening, this religious revival. Because of this awakening, abolitionists movement grew in strength. That's a huge one. You need to know that the abolitionist movement grew in strength. They felt like the horrible treatment of slaves, the fact that they were considered property instead of people, needed to be fixed because God's people are of every color and it didn't matter. And so that's what the Second Great Awakening was trying to support, is let's change the way we live. Slaves are people. Slaves are God's children. Let's get rid of slavery. And so it really involved Christian groups, had large outdoor mass meetings trying to revive God's plan. You can see the preacher in the stand on that picture there who's trying to tell the citizens, trying to tell the people about why it's important to follow God's plan. They would emphasize the ability of each person to achieve salvation, and that it didn't matter how bad you've been, where you've been, and what you've done, you can still achieve salvation. And then lastly, the First Amendment allowed the Second Great Awakening to occur. If the whole time these preachers are preaching what they want to preach about changing society, it's that freedom of expression, the freedom of speech, which allows them to get on that podium and say what they want to say and express their views for social reform. So again, Second Great Awakening, a religious revival where we felt like we needed to change society, and they were able to speak their mind because of the First Amendment. So write everything in red and wait for instruction.